Good morning. Saturday. Hooray. um, Good morning, Dave and Susan. That's not a good typo. We might think you need help, but I think you mean hello, so that's good. So this is the last weekend before your taxes are due. I hope you did your taxes. I have a little bit to finish. um, because everyone's situation is a little more complicated this year. My kids sometimes do their own, sometimes I do them with their information, or they do them on our program and then file it online. Usually it's pretty simple, but this year people have unemployment and some of them paid tuition that they need to figure out how to get credit for that or something. So we're going to have to do it online on my program. Um, but, the problem is that, they didn't necessarily save information from previous years, so they don't know their correct information that they need for filing. And so, the I guess the message there is that even though it feels like nothing, everything you do online can be retrieved. It really can't. If you don't know your password and there's no customer service, right? Because getting somebody on the phone is almost impossible, or actually speaking to a person. So, and yeah, that's the beauty and the terror of the online stuff, is that it's so immediate and so quick, and it feels so permanent, right? That you can always retrieve stuff, or and it's great when it works, but when it doesn't work, then you have a whole situation where you're trying to unravel somebody that can sort out your problem, which is harder and harder, right? These days, it's even for help or chat, it's a robot, right? It's not a human, so they have a set series of things they can help you with, and clearly most of them you already tried, right? Because you wouldn't have gone to the extreme of trying to actually talk to a human if you didn't have something non-standard that needed to be dealt with. So I guess, back things up, make copies, write things down. I know it sounds crazy, but write it down somewhere. Um, you might need it. So we all know this, right? We're older. I think everybody watching this video remembers back when everything was on paper, and it's not such a bad idea to have a little bit of paper around. I think if you can keep track of that, that's a challenge too. All right, so um, let's talk a little bit about. So taxes always makes me think of. I don't like paying taxes. I know we're all one, and I know that right, our taxes go to fund good things, but I don't like doing it. Um, it's a bummer, and I'm sure you all feel the same way. I think if we felt that our taxes were always going to fund those good things that we are in favor of, we might feel better. But I still think we'd feel kind of bad, because paying money is sort of a painful experience for most of us. It's not something we want to do frequently. But what helps, I think, when you have to do stuff like that, is to think about what we can be grateful for with this. I am grateful that, we live in a country where we've decided that we're going to fund some of these things that are important to us. I wish we'd do a little more, right? I mean, public education is a great thing. I would love to see that go through college. Why not? Isn't it important? Don't we feel like that's something that is of value, educated people? I think so. I hope so. When we think about what a tiny sliver of our overall budget it would be, it seems kind of ridiculous not to do that. I think, you know, again, if we had some things like this, universal health care, right? These are things that we could experience real value every day, and it would make it feel easier, right? We'd have a tangible thing, right? A really tangible thing that we're using, um, that our money is going to. Right? But overall, um, it's not a bad position to be in, that you have extra money that you have to pay, right? Um, Certainly worse than not having any at all. I'm always horrified when I do the kids' taxes and see how much they need to pay, even making as little as they do when they're living at home and not really working full time. They still have to pay a lot of taxes. That doesn't seem right. But, you know, that's something that we need to change too. Making people, living basically hand to mouth, poverty wages. Not my kids. My kids have plenty of food and a nice place to live, but their peers, people who don't, who are actually expected to pay for the things that they need on salaries like that. That's something that needs to change big time. So, part of being grateful is recognizing the inequalities, right? Because when we are grateful, when we're experiencing gratitude, it is natural to also see that other people are not doing as well as you are. And why is that, right? Certainly, there are people that just aren't working very hard, aren't trying hard to make their life useful. But there are a lot of people who are working very, very hard, and they just are stuck in a system that is not serving them. So, as we are grateful for what we have, um, we can work to make sure that more people can be comfortable. And if they're going to work, they will be able to live. It just makes sense, right? If we are all one, as we are, right? We know this. How can we leave a big chunk of ourself behind? If they're suffering, we're suffering. It's it's just that's just how it is. Um, you might not see it right now. You might not want to look at it, but it's there and it's going to impact all of us in time. So we should take care of it now. Just like everything with yoga, right? Take care of it now. Don't put it off. Don't um, say that's tomorrow's problem, right? Procrastination is, I have a lot of trouble with procrastination. And I know my husband is on this on this one, so he knows this has been a very hard week for me. I have not gotten very much done. Of all the projects that I have planned and things that I'm trying to get done, I didn't do much at all. It's discouraging, right? You can feel very discouraged when you don't see a lot of progress. But this is how it is sometimes, right? Um, I found there isn't much point in fighting these things, right? You kind of need to go with the rhythm of what's happening in your life. If you are experiencing a great deal of resistance to something that you really think you should be doing, maybe you just need to take a break. Maybe you need to give yourself a couple of days to regroup and figure out what what the cause is. What is stopping you? Um, Maybe you won't really even figure it out, but maybe it will pass anyway. This is something I've noticed that generally I don't even understand why I get stuck, but something changes, and then I'm uh, I'm off and running. Uh, this is my pattern. My pattern is hot and cold when it comes to um, the things that I do. I'm either all in or I'm putting my feet up. I- I'm not good at the, you know, in between. And I work on that. That's a struggle for me because as we know with yoga, the slow and steady, the steps that you take every day are um, the best, right? They are um, the most sustainable. They also make you feel better, right? This up and down. It's not a great pattern, right? You feel lazy and kind of guilty on the days you aren't doing things, and then you're exhausted on the days that you are working like a dog. So moderate if you can. I think I'm better at it than I was, right? Um, they will remember. There were times I was working, 20 hours a day, and um, with the kids all day, then working all night, and then getting a little bit of sleep and back to it. Um, I don't do that anymore, and I'm glad I don't. Um, so finding right your place, finding what works for you. Um, it may not ever be as moderate as you'd like it to be. I don't think I will ever be able to be completely moderate, but I'm moderating. I'm getting better at it. I recognize the necessity for it. I don't know if I'm gonna get all the way there, but you don't have to get all the way there. You just have to get to what works for you, right? So that is what all of these things that we're learning in yoga are about. Is they're not about becoming a perfect yoga person. They are about understanding why some of these things are damaging to us and what our own tendencies are, and then how to moderate in that general direction. Um, Doing the things that specifically help in your situation. Um, they're going to be different for us all, but hopefully they'll bring us all into this moderation a little bit, into a more moderate way of doing things. So, okay, um, let's do some yoga, some asana, and maybe we'll breathe a little bit before that. So, just sitting up tall, relax. I'm so stuffed out the past couple of days. So, breathing when you are congested, if you have allergies or whatever you have going on, it's very important, right, to try to do some pranayama when you are experiencing this because it will help loosen everything up. It will help you get that breath in. Um, and a lot of times when you are really congested or you have a lot of allergies, you're not breathing at the right level, right? You are just breathing much less than you would normally. So take that time to do some deep breathing to kind of bring that oxygen level up and just um, it gives you a little bit of energy that you may be lacking during the day. So relax shoulders, breathe. And then just let the head drop down. We're going to go back. Just normal breath. Moving the head around. Big circle. A couple times one way. And then the other. Back to center of this. I'm going to lean forward. Moving around. One way, then the other. Back up to your seat, arms wide. Take a deep breath. Exhale, hands together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace the fingers. Lift the hands. We're gazing up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. Once more, lifting up. And then right hand down. Reach across with the left. Switch sides. Let's lift the shoulders, roll back. And forward. We're going to lift the left arm and then see if you can bring the hand back behind the neck, right? So it's sort of resting on the neck or the upper back. We're going to bring your hand, right hand, on the left elbow, and we're just sort of gently pressing down, right? So if your shoulders are tight, maybe you can't reach all the way down. Maybe you're kind of like here or something like that. So we're just going to pull gently, whatever you can here. And then switch. So right arm, you may notice some differences, one side to the other. right? My right shoulder is always an issue. I never really know what's going to happen with it, what I can do on a given day. It may be tight or loose. Um, who knows? So that's all right, though. We're just working as much as we can. It's not a bad thing, right? I certainly wish I never injured my shoulder, but I look at it as a reminder to be careful, a reminder to be always mindful of every part of the body when we're moving. And I try to remember each and every part has that potential, right? So be careful. Pay attention. Bring the feet together. Take a deep breath. Fold forward. And come on back up. Tabletop. Sit back on the heels. Moving back up, let's go through cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, reversing that. Inhales and exhales. Back on the heels again. Maybe stack the fists and rest the forehead. Moving back up. Tabletop, downward dog. step the feet up. So we're going to fold for a few breaths. Rising up. Standing tall, breath in and out. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lifting to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Lifting on your inhale. And back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Let's step out to the side. Wide legs here. Take a deep breath. And fold. So they don't have to be too wide, right? You can have them more narrow if you want. Hands down onto the legs or onto the floor. You could use a block here if you don't want to be as far down as this. Having the weight towards the front, so kind of leaning into the hands. Maybe slightly lift the heels if that helps you kind of feel that forward momentum. And then we're going to bring the right hand to center. Right, left hand at your hip. Inhale, and then exhale, twist. Maybe extend the arm. Back to center, switch hands. So left hand is down, right hand at the hip. Twisting to the right. Back to center. Hands at the waist. Use that leg strength to lift you up. Breath in, breath out. If you feel lightheaded, bring your arms up over your head. And then we're going to turn. So we're facing the front. Right leg out, left leg back. Bring the arms behind you. Interlace the fingers. Squeeze the shoulders back. Deep breath. And fold. And we're going to start rising up. So we're about halfway. Hands stay behind. Shift the weight into that right side. And then lift. You might have a slight bend in that right knee. If that helps you, remember to keep that leg engaged. You don't want to lock the knee. It's very wobbly then. You want to have a nice, strong, standing leg. And then, when you're ready, just set the foot back down. Back foot steps to the front, arms overhead. And back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. And then we're going to switch. So left leg is out in front, right leg behind. Squeeze the shoulders back, take a breath. Fold forward. Lifting up halfway, shift into that left side, and then we're lifting up. And if you fall out or need to step the foot back down, that's fine. Give it a try again. Make sure with the standing foot. So sometimes we have a tendency to grip with the toes. And this actually makes the foot less stable. So trying to press down with the ball of the foot, the flat part of the foot, will actually give you a better connection, better balance. Step back foot up, arms overhead. And we're back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Let's come down to a seat. We're going to have soles of the feet together again. Take a deep breath. Lean forward. Back up. Extend the legs. Deep breath in. Fold forward. Coming back up, let's point and flex the feet. Rotate. One way and the other. Bend the right knee. Sitting up tall, bring the shoulders back. And then lowering the knee. We've got that, the foot is right next to the thigh. You could also bring the foot on top of the thigh if you want, right? That's just bumping up the intensity here through the knee and the hip. But if it feels very tight through the knee or whatever, don't do this. You don't want to injure your knee. Just to work on the flexibility a little, right? That wouldn't make sense. So let's lean forward, reaching and fold. I think one of the hardest things with asana practice is accepting our limitations, right? What are our limitations? We have flexibility limitations, strength limitations. They won't always be this way, right? Come on back up. That's part of the practice, is to change some of these limitations. Let's switch. So we can be stronger, sitting tall, shoulders back, or we can become more flexible. But accepting where they are today is important. Not being mad, not being frustrated, not pushing too hard, trying to improve, right, too fast. You'll just hurt yourself. There's no point. And then lowering the knee, sit tall, lean forward. Understand that if you do these things consistently, you will improve, right? That is the nature of things. Just like if you just keep walking, you will get to whatever destination you're going to. It might take a very long time, depending on how fast you walk or how slow you walk, but you will get there. It's not exactly the same with strength and flexibility. I guess it is pretty much with strength, but flexibility can be a little stickier, right? Come on back up. Some of us, in fact, all of us have genetic, I'm not going to say handicaps, but we have specific things about our body that may never change. Or there's specific things that we do to our body that cause things, right? Lift the arms, deep breath and fold. Somebody who runs a lot is going to have shorter hamstrings than someone who doesn't. That means their hamstrings are going to be tighter. It's just how it is. You can work to kind of mitigate that and counteract that, but you're never going to change it completely. But that's okay, right? We make our choices in life. I'm never going to be an Olympic pole vaulter, right? I've come to grips with that in my life. Come on, back up. You got to do what you want to do, right? What is the most important thing? Take a breath and fold forward. I would hope that having flexible hamstrings is pretty low on your priority list of things in your life that you want to do. So do the other things first and then see what you have left for hamstring flexibility. And then we're back up. Soles of the feet to the mat. Let's lower down or rock back. So we're resting on the floor. Take a few moments to be comfortable here. Let's hug the right leg in. Left leg is long. And then maybe extend the leg. So you can keep the hand back behind the thigh, or if you can reach the ankle or the calf, maybe even the toe, we'll stretch. And then bend. And let's extend, switching what we're doing here. And then extending the leg. Trying to do, more or less what you did on the one side, the same on the other if you can. And then release it, both legs long. Take a few breaths. Bending the knees again. This time we've got right ankle on left knee for supine pigeon. Set the foot down. Goalpost arms or arms to a T, lowering the leg over to the left. So maybe the right foot comes down onto the mat, onto the floor. Back up, switch it around. Set the foot down and lower over to the right. and then back, both feet to the mat. We're going to do supported bridge. So find your block or whatever you've got here. Lifting up. Finding a place that feels supportive and comfortable, and breathe. You can always bring the knees in here if you want, or extend them straight up or straight out, if you like how that feels. Some people really enjoy that. See what is working for you today. And then removing the block, rest back down. Soles of the feet together. Knees apart. Maybe bring the arms up overhead. Bring the knees together. Bring them into the chest. You can rock side to side. Extend the legs, hands by your side. And then lowering down. Moving into Shavasana. Calm, peaceful. Focus on the breath, the steadiness of the body on the mat. So in yoga, we have a term called Abyasa, which is steady progress in the direction you want to go. It doesn't mean constant progress. It doesn't mean exhausting progress. It means steady. This is the goal. And it's a goal for yourself, right? It's for our own personal goals. It's also something we might look at in our society, right? Can we chart steady, positive movement in the direction we want to go? I think we can. Certainly, we have setbacks. Certainly, we have things that happen that we then react to, right? And try to change. Steady progress often means uncovering the problems, uncovering the obstacles, and getting past them. It doesn't mean giving up, right? That's the one thing it doesn't mean. But it doesn't mean that every day has to be the same. It just means we're steadily moving forward, right? So Abyasa, it's something to keep in mind. When you're ready, moving, fingers and toes, hands and feet. Come on up to a seat. And let's bring hands together. Take a deep breath. In and out. Thank you for coming to your mat today for some yoga and for sharing it with me. I hope you have a really nice Saturday and a good weekend. Namaste. Thank you. So Abyasa, this is a word that has come up for me a lot this week. And it's another one of those things that I love. I just love that, the ancient people, the ancient Sanskrit speaking people thousands and thousands of years ago understood how easy it is to get sidetracked, how our nature is to sort of just whatever with stuff. They actually have a word for this feeling, for this desire to do this. Words that we need, a whole sentence, a couple sentences maybe to really explain the idea. But they have a word for it. It's that common. I wish we had that. I wish we had that in our vocabulary. I wish we had those type of words, words that mean big things, and because we are striving for big things, that's the dream, right? Okay, how about 5 minutes of meditation? Let's do it. Sitting comfortably. You can sit in a chair, sit in a cushion. You might lie down on the floor again. I don't mind. Whatever you want to do. And breathe. Okay, there you go. Hopefully that was peaceful for you. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your Sunday. And I'll be back Monday.